I'm Steve Kathan. The worst fears after the crash of a U.S. military plane have been realized.
U.S. Central Command has confirmed all 6 crew members were killed when a refueling plane crashed in Iraq. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
War is hell. War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker, bad things can happen.
Hegseth says Iran's leaders are desperate and have gone underground.
That's what rats do.
As for the closure of the Strait of Hormuz,
something we're dealing with. We have been dealing with it and don't need to worry about it.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
President Trump said on social media today he viewed it as a, quote, great honor to be killing Iran's leaders. CBS's Matt Gutman is in Amman, Jordan.
Something's happening in Iran. They have been pummeled. There is no doubt that they have been pummeled over the past 2 weeks. The U.S. and Israel saying that they demolished or destroyed about a third, maybe a little bit more, of Iran's missile launchers. They have neutralized another third, maybe a little bit more. So we're talking about 70% reduction.
Now to West Bloomfield, Michigan. CBS's Usher Qureshi is covering the aftermath of an armed crash attack that damaged a synagogue but injured no one inside.
Federal officials have identified the suspect as Ayman Mohammed Ghazali. He was born in Lebanon and then became a citizen later on. Now, overnight, we learned that federal investigators were seen entering a home believed to be connected to Ghazali in the Dearborn Heights area. They're looking for evidence to see what may have led to this attack and what may have driven him to do this.
Lebanon says there's word relatives of the man were killed in an Israeli airstrike last week. Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel acknowledged, that is, for the first time today, that his government has held recent talks with the U.S. It comes as the Trump administration has increased pressure on Cuba with what amounts to an oil blockade. Parts of Cuba have been hit with major blackouts. Correspondent Jim Crisula now with more on a weather system that's pounding the western half of the country.
High winds have caused tens of thousands of power outages across the Rockies, the Plains, and the upper Midwest. Several trees fell on Mary Cobb's property in Evergreen, Colorado.
We can't get in and out of the driveway, for one, and the power lines are down, so it just feels very dangerous.
The winds have caused flight delays at major airports in Denver, Minneapolis, and Chicago. The Duluth, Minnesota area is under a blizzard warning.
Labor Department says job openings rose to nearly 7 million in January. That's considered better than expected at a time when the labor market has looked sluggish. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 7 points. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Going straight to Chris Sullivan because traffic is rough.
Yeah, who expected a snowstorm on March 13th? Well, we've got one. We have multiple closures over that we're looking at. Eastbound 18 remains closed over Tiger Mountain. Both directions of I-90 are closed. Westbound at milepost 70 in Easton, so you can't get west over to the pass. There's a jackknife semi there. Eastbound 90 just closed about an hour ago near milepost 34 in North Bend. Just too many spinouts, people not following the chain requirements. SR 900 has been blocked most of the morning as well on the backside of Cougar Mountain. It looks like that has cleared, though, so that's certainly positive. You get down to the freeways, it's still snowing, but not really sticking a huge amount. We've got Renton to Bellevue at about 35 minutes. Valley Freeway's under 40, which is great. We're back under 45 Federal Way to Seattle. Still have 50 minutes to go from Linwood to Seattle, Linwood to Bellevue, and we're also still working with the closure of 410 for those of you trying to get up toward Crystal. Just a lot of snow and trees down there as well. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and scores right to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Some schools are closed along with the roads because of this very late season snow, and where it's stacking up depends heavily on where you are. Here's KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Robert Van Winkle.
This rain has settled in across the south, as you can see. Generally, Tacoma down 5 toward Olympia, 37 degrees here and rainy. Then you get up, come up 101, and it kind of switches over. It's all about the temperatures, and just 1 or 2 degrees will make all the difference. Earlier today, Alki Point was at 35 degrees, and then just up the hill on California, it was 32 degrees. So the snow was falling in West Seattle earlier today, and it's fallen downtown as well.
KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha has the latest from South Everett.
It's only about 34 degrees, and this snow is actually pretty slushy and sort of not freezing over, so that's good news.
Thousands of customers were still without power after Wednesday's windstorms, and that number has swelled to about 16,700 this morning because of the snow. Andrew Padula is with Puget Sound Energy and says the wet, heavy snow is making a lot more work.
That also creates the challenges and the dangers for our crews that are out there trying to check the lines and prioritize those systems to make sure that everything is working properly. So if they can't get in there due to falling branches or trees, that's going to create some problems for us and delay that restoration effort.
Snoqualmie Pass has lost power again. I-90 is also closed, as you heard before, but after it reopens, a spokesperson says they plan to run Summit Central for day operations off generator power. Everything else is up in the air. Crystal Mountain is closed until Highway 410 can be cleared. Right now, Stevens Pass and Mount Baker are showing normal operations. And of course, lawmakers wrapped up the 2026 session after 60 intense days in Olympia, much of that time focused on closing a multi-billion-dollar budget gap. Luke Ducey is going to have your whole legislative wrap-up in just a moment live on the Gee and Ursula Show. Now for your forecast. It is snowing lightly in Seattle, and it's going to have a rain-snow mix throughout the day with a high just potentially hitting 40 degrees. It is 32 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Oh, Nick coming through already. Happy Fresh Fridays to all of you. We got a big show today. I mean, we got guests coming on to hang out here on this Friday. Paul is here. Good morning to you, Paul.
Good morning, G.
And good morning to you, Nick.
Good morning.
Hey, Nick, can I get a request, man?
What you want?
Today, because of the weather, right? But I want to think about summer. Can we get yacht rock
Change
all day?
The mood around here?
Yeah, I want yacht rock today.
Want to make it feel like all sunny?
That's my thing right there. Mm-hmm. So here are the guests that we have coming on today. At 11 o'clock, the Big O, Omari Salisbury from Converge Media will join the show. He had a sit-down with the chief of Seattle Police, Sean Barnes. And in that, there was some numbers and figures that came out, including an increase in crime in a specific area. Omari will join us at 11 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, the executive of Pierce County, Ryan Mello, will join the show. I got to show some love to Pierce County. It seems like a lot of times there's other people that get into the news from Pierce County. Let's talk about some positive stuff. So the executive will join us at 10 o'clock. But right now, let's get to it. Top stories of the day brought to you by Pendergast Law. The curtain has closed on this year's legislative session in Olympia. Now, these Democrats and Republicans, they're highlighting their top accomplishments, along with the bills that didn't make it across the finish line. Now, you know, there's nobody that does it better. My main man, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, has the roundup on all this. Luke, good to see you. Happy Friday, my man.
Happy Friday. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's stormy outside right now, but the storm in Olympia certainly cleared up yesterday, the last day of the legislative session for this time around. So let's talk about the big wins and the big losses for Democrats, Republicans, and the governor as well.
Okay.
Let's dive in. Democrats, let's talk wins first. The big win for them, of course, the 9.9% income tax on millionaires. Here's Senate Majority Leader Democrat Jamie Peterson.
It helps write our budget. It also helps by creating some more affordability for working families in the state.
Yeah, the tax is supposed to generate between $3.5 and $4 billion annually starting in 2029. For the governor, the big win was, of course, the millionaire's tax as well, but also bills on affordable housing and infrastructure, roads and bridges across the state. Also bills that push back on the federal government. There was a bill that helps separate our state from federal health and vaccine guidelines under Health Secretary RFK Jr., but also a bill that prevents ICE agents from wearing masks that's soon to be signed into law.
I'm excited that bill passed the House and the Senate and looking forward to signing that. I think it's outrageous that we have ICE agents in unmarked cars who are masked plucking people off our streets. That's outrageous, and this bill addresses that.
And a big win for Republicans. State Republican leader John Braun says, or I should say Senate Republican leader John Braun says lowering the estate tax from 35%, which was highest in the nation, to 20%, still highest in the nation, was huge.
They know this is a bad thing, and they've decided to undo it and take it back to a mere 20%, still the highest in the country, but better than it was for the last year. So I'd say that's a win.
All right, the big losses for Republicans, what do you think that is, G? It's got to be the
millionaire tax.
That's right.
That was their losses.
Yeah,
all right.
But they already say, there are plans to challenge that in court. They're underway already being formed. House Republican leader Drew Stokesbury says lawmakers, mostly Democrats, though, did nothing to help families living paycheck to paycheck.
If you're struggling to make ends meet right now, if you're looking at the rising price of gas and groceries and housing and childcare, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, how is your life better just because some rich guy in Bellevue has to write a check to the State Department of Revenue? It's not.
And the big losers for the governor, he said he wanted to put more money toward Washington State ferries. And now to something that I think you want to talk about a little bit more here, the big losses for Democrats. Let's get into this a little bit. Senator Peterson says he wishes they had spent more money on funding public defenders across the state. Healthcare reform, they didn't really get to that much. Could have done more for affordable housing, but also he says they could have done a lot more, and they didn't this time around on funding education.
Partly it's about time and short session. Partly it's about the money and not having enough money to do anything meaningful.
But also I want to add this before I get to you, G, because you're going to have great stuff to say about this. House Speaker Lori Jenkins says, you know what, when it comes to those things, especially education, not really their fault.
It's hard to know what's going to dominate the next session because what the federal administration has done really dominated this session and what they've done was not predictable.
I know education is a big topic that you like to follow and it's important to you. When you hear those things, I'm just curious, what goes through your mind?
Well, you said it was a L for the Democrats. I'm going to say this was a just nasty, disgusting. There's no way in the world that education should ever be, we didn't have enough time for that. What does that mean? Do you guys know the backbone of our society? Are the youngsters that are coming up behind us? Education? I bet you in other countries that, there's some other countries that are kind of trailblazing a little bit. I can guarantee you education doesn't take a back burner. So I will say, I love the way, Luke, you split it up. I love the way that you said the good news and the bad news and the winners and the losers. This is an absolute loser. And I'm really shocked, actually, that this happened. I mean, sure, the federal administration is the federal administration. We all know about that. But y'all got all sides of the house. Y'all got it all down there. So there should be no excuse for the education to be on the back burner. So question for you going forward, because obviously when they said that, they didn't have the money or the time, was there any other explanation to that, Luke?
Not really, no. All the efforts and focus for Democrats this time around in this legislative session really focused on that millionaires tax, the income tax on millionaires, because they said, and they even called it an emergency. And that's why, and this is another debate going on between Republicans and Democrats right now, that's why they did not put that to a vote by the people. You might see it come up later in a referendum, and it might go to a vote at some point down the line, but they said, look, we've got to pass this thing now because we've got services out there in our state that are becoming more expensive, social services, and we need to pay for those things. There's inflation. We have to compensate for that. So we've got to pass this tax because we don't have tax being generated by other things like sales tax, right, gas tax, et cetera. So that's what their big focus was. But it appears now that the session's over, looking back in hindsight, they passed the millionaire's tax to support social services, but they left out a lot of money for things that they had talked about leading up to this session. One of those being, healthcare reform, affordability, Washington State ferries, which is in dire need of money, but education. Education's probably the big one for a lot of people. And as you know, you said it, a lot of things start and end with education. Yeah. I mean, we base a lot of other things in the future on education, the future lives of those kids starting out in preschool programs, which are so vitally important for kids and families. You may know this, listeners. Maybe you don't. If you don't, this is going to be a surprise, perhaps. But they base, how kids do in school at those lower levels, preschool and kindergarten, on how many jails they have to build in the future, because kids, if they don't get an education, they hit the streets normally, and that's where the crime happens.
Luke, before you go, so real quick, this millionaire's tax, it will take, barring the lawsuits and everything, is this supposed to take place in 28,
but then we won't see money, according to the Democrats and how this law, soon to be law, until 2029. However, that said, a legal challenge in court, and it will be challenged in court. There's no question about that. And the argument is whether or not an income tax is a property tax or not. Yeah. Democrats are going to have to say, or supporters are going to say, no, it's not. It's separate, just like they did with the capital gains tax. That was considered an excise tax instead. So it'll be interesting what the court comes up with in their decision, and to see how high this goes up in the judicial process. But, yeah, there's going to be a challenge. And if there is a challenge, then that could delay this another couple of years as well.
Right. Luke Ducey, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Downtown Seattle is seeing steady momentum right now. 15 million people visited downtown in 2025, surpassing pre-pandemic levels for the second consecutive year. John Scholes, who is the president and CEO of the Downtown Seattle Association, here's what he had to say.
I believe never before has it been more important for downtowns to be thriving and vibrant places. But I also believe it's true that downtowns perhaps have never been more optional.
That's a very good one. Here's also.
We have seen a little bit of a plateau in the momentum around visitor growth, which has really kind of carried us out of the pandemic here in downtown, over these last several years. And we're not seeing a plateau when it comes to the employment situation. We're seeing a decline.
You're seeing a decline when it comes to the employment situation. Now, according to the annual State of Downtown Seattle report, nearly 13,000 downtown Seattle jobs were lost. And right now, office vacancy is at 25%. Now, we'll say with that 15 million people that visited downtown in 2025 and that number of it surpassing the pre-pandemic levels for the second consecutive year, and I believe those numbers, might be a little skewed because the sports teams had some success. The Mariners were playing baseball in October. You know what I mean? You had that. And then, of course, you had the Seahawks, and it was a great run. So even if you didn't go to the game, you wanted to be around the game. So while I'll say that those things are still positive, I do really love and appreciate what he says, that downtown has become an option for a lot of people. Because if you don't work downtown, and I'll say this, there's something about one of the things, and I can't speak for any of you, but obviously I work downtown, okay? We are close to downtown where we work, and we have a parking lot where we park at. But outside of that, I would say one of the reasons why it's tough for me to go downtown Seattle, it really is the parking. Like seriously, it really is the parking. And I think that really has a lot to do with a lot of you. I mean, you go down parking, you want to be downtown for 2 to 3 hours, and you're paying $25, $30, $40 sometimes. That could be a lot.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next one. What is going on? Where did this snow come from? The last time, by the way, y'all know today is Friday the 13th. I don't know if any of you guys are superstitious at all, but it's Friday the 13th. The last time, 6 years ago, on Friday the 13th, it did the same thing. And then the world shut down. Transportation crews are asking for patience right now from drivers as they work to clear snowy and slushy roads. Casey Conley is with WashDOT and tells KIRO 7 TV a snowplow was rear-ended just last week.
We say this a lot, and you hear us, really trying to remind people to give our plow crews plenty of space. Thankfully, that driver was not hurt. but that truck had to be taken out of service, and that means it's not out there plowing and treating roads.
Shout out to all you utility crews. Appreciate you. Utility crews right now are working around the clock to get power for the few thousand people still offline after Wednesday's windstorm. Now, Andrew Padula is with PSC. He says some of the damaged infrastructure is in rugged areas that are hard to get to.
So you may not see our trucks out and about as you would like to in some of these areas. They may be up in the hills and up in the mountains working on those complicated locations. But once we get those areas fixed, you'll start to see more of the crews down below where the transmission lines feed into the substations and distribution and into the neighborhoods.
So it's a lot of snow. Now, I'll be honest, I never saw any. I haven't seen any snow at all. I left early this morning. Came up north on I-5, right? And so I didn't see any down in Tacoma at that time because it was like, 3:45, 4 in the morning. And then, but I've heard that there's some up north. I heard there's a lot. It's Issaquah and Sammamish and all that stuff. Paul, did you see any snow?
I biked through the snow this morning. It was.
You were biking through the snow?
Oh yeah.
Really?
So it was a shock. I mean, because I was walking back from the bus last night after the hockey game, and it was raining, but it wasn't. It wasn't cold. I did not think it was going to get low enough overnight to go to snow. And then I wake up, I take the dog outside, and I'm like, oh, it's snowing. And it was big, wet flakes. It was melting. It's not really sticking outside on top of cars, on rooftops and stuff like that. But it is very wet, very slick out there. And it was interesting. I was biking in. I almost hit a duck this morning on my way into work.
Wait. On your bike?
Yeah, these little ducks were walking right past me, but my glasses were all, wet and stuff. I was dark. I had my light on, and luckily I was just able enough to brake just in time before I hit this little guy who just walked right out in front of me. But yeah, it was I saw a bunch of people who were going to have to be clearing off their cars. I was shocked. I mean, it was like snowing, actually legit this morning. It was not what I expected here at March, but at the middle of March, I should say.
Hey, I got to tell you, would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how harsh really was our winter? I thought we had a pretty mild winter.
A 1 or a 2. I mean, we had that stretch
maybe 3 tops. Yeah, it was very mild.
It was a very mild winter. But, for me, when I look at days like today, and I see, it's pretty ugly out. It's a Friday. It's ugly. These are the days that makes us really appreciate the good stuff that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Because you all know here in Seattle, we got the good stuff coming.
This is the calm before the summer storm, quote unquote. We're going to get better
Don't
weather.
feel sorry for us here. Don't worry. We'll have blue skies and all that. And then when people in your family comes in town right now, they're like, oh, my goodness, does it always rain here? Yes, it does.
But it feels good.
Make sure you leave and get ready to go back where you came from. All right. Hey, we got a lot going on today's show. We got guests coming up 10 o'clock. Executive of Pierce County, Ryan Mello, is going to join the show. He's got some exciting things that he's working on, so he joins us at 10. But up next, I had no idea. Don't worry. I won't go DEI scorched earth like I did a few days ago. But did you hear about the tech bros and Doge? Oh yeah, you got to hear this. We got some sound for you that you don't want to miss. We do that next. Gee Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
2 competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first base line, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work. Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners' first homestand is stacked. Don't miss opening day on March 26th. Cal Raleigh 60 home run bobblehead night on March 28th. Presented by Alaska Airlines. And a star-powered showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. March 30th through April 1st. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Hartley Wilcox here. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you are what you eat. And everyone knows eggs are an incredible source of natural protein and omega-3. But have you ever stopped to think about what the hens eat to make the eggs great tasting and even healthier to eat? At Wilcox Farms, we believe in nature-first nutrition. Our hens enjoy pasture access and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. That means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for you and your family. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs, you're investing in real nutrition and real value. Because healthy hens make healthy eggs, and healthy eggs make healthy, happy families. So next time you're at the store, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Learn more at wilcoxfarms.com. Wilcox Farms, where better eggs begin with better care. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery, and our big story is the weather today, where snow, slush, and slippery roads are all around our region. Spinouts and crashes have closed I-90 eastbound over Snoqualmie Pass. Highway 18 is closed at Issaquah-Hobart Road, and Highway 410 of Crystal Mountain is closed for snow and downed trees. Here's Trooper Rick Johnson with the State Patrol.
So yeah, just seems like everything's shut down right now. Just trying to get it cleared for travel, but there's no ETA on anything that is closed right now.
Rick Johnson with the State Patrol says if you don't have to drive in areas where it's snowy, stay out of them and be prepared. If you are driving, make sure to obey chain requirements and keep a safe distance and stay out of the way of snow plows. The weather is creating havoc for utility crews trying to get the power back on. We now are reporting 22,000 customers out of power for Puget Sound Energy. A lot of them are on the east side and near Snoqualmie Pass. Snoqualmie Pass is also out of power. An update on the man who drove a car into a synagogue in Michigan. Investigators say he is originally from Lebanon and believe the attack was retaliation for Israeli and U.S. airstrikes there. CBS News Minnesota reporter Jonah Kaplan has more from the scene of that attack.
No one inside was hurt, but because of all that smoke, 30 first responders had actually to be treated at the hospital. Temple Israel behind me, it's one of the largest synagogues in the United States. More than 1,000 members.
All 6 crew members of the U.S. refueling aircraft that went down in western Iraq have now been confirmed dead. Before that confirmation, at a news conference earlier this morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said about the 4 known crew members who had already been confirmed dead. He said war is hell, war is chaos, and vowed retaliation against Iran. Hegseth also said the U.S. military does not target civilians when asked about the strike that killed 168 people, 110 of them children, at a girls' school in Iran. Now we're going to go to Chris Sullivan, who's been following the roads. Very slippery out there. Yeah,
definitely, Jillian. And again, just a reminder, eastbound 90 closed North Bend, westbound 90 closed in Easton, 18 eastbound closed at the Issy-Hobart Road, 410 closed before Crystal. So the people waiting to get the fresh powder there at Crystal, it's got to be agonizingly painful to just sit there and not know when they're going to open the road. But that's the situation. The rain, the snowstorm that we have is still kind of working its way through, still flakes around. Good news is most of our freeways are getting better. If you're coming down from the north end, you only need 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. 40 from Renton to Bellevue. We're behind schedule by about 10 minutes. Just heavy volume there today, and people who would normally be on 18. Looking at Auburn to Renton at 20 minutes, 40 out of the Puyallup area, and only 40 from Federal Way to Seattle. The lake bridges are still fine. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Snow giving way to rain during the afternoon and overnight lows in the mid-30s. Partly cloudy but dry tomorrow. It's 32 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Good morning, everybody. It is Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Fresh Fridays to you. Hey, coming up in about 32 minutes, the executive of Pierce County, Ryan Mello, He will join the show. Also at 11 o'clock, we will have the Big O, Omari Salisbury from Converge Media. He joins us at 11 o'clock. But right now, we've got government staffers deciding which federal grants get cut. And they're running descriptions through ChatGPT to see if it sounds like DEI. You guys remember Doge, right? Well, according to deposition testimony in a lawsuit, people that were tied to Elon Musk's, Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, the one that he said that there was going to be so much savings that you were going to get a check. You guys remember? They said that they were going to be sending out checks with the savings. Doge only lasted 8 months. But check this out. They were literally passing on grant descriptions, putting into AI and asking, does this relate to DEI? And then using that to help decide what funding to get canceled. Now, whether you love DEI or hate DEI, that's not the point. Today, we're going to talk about competence. Or should we talk about merit? Here is Nathan Kavanaugh, who was asked if he has any regrets. Check this out.
You don't regret that people might have lost important income to support their lives?
No. I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero.
Did you reduce the federal deficit?
No, we didn't.
The dude said, you heard it. He said he had no regrets. He had no regrets because the goal was to reduce the deficit from down to zero. And when they asked him, did you reduce anything? Nope. Then Kavanaugh was asked about his experience. Now, I'm assuming, right? We're talking about Doge. We're talking about the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. He's going to, a lot of people told me, yes, G, they're going to save so much. And they're going to save so much. And you and all of us, you got to get a check. Let's see how much experience Mr. Nathan Kavanaugh had.
Do you have any history in, let's say, scholarly peer review?
No.
Okay. But this judgment call was made by you and your personal judgment combined with Justin's personal judgment to cancel grants based on DEI?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's inappropriate in any way that someone in their 20s with no experience with grants or federal government was making personal judgment calls about what grants to cancel?
Objection. No, I don't think it's inappropriate.
Okay. Why not?
Objection. I think a person can have enough judgment from reading books and being well informed outside of traditional experience to make judgment calls about obvious things like a grant that literally lists DEI in its description to know whether it violates an executive order.
I'm sorry. I'm saying books because you said books. What books would you have read that would have informed your opinion on what grants to cancel based on DEI or not?
There were no books.
Did you? First of all, I don't even know the name of the person that's asking the questions, but he's putting on a master class with the pace and the follow-ups. Oh, yeah, I'm going to bring up books because you just brought up books. What books? And he literally said that there were no books. He said it. Then there's Justin Fox. And by the way, what are they calling these? Because, there's always nicknames. Are these Doge Bros?
Doge Bros.
These are Doge Bros. Okay. I'm sure, And by the way, none of these guys, they're all 25 and younger. 25 and younger. Depositions of them admitting they have no experience. Admitting they don't regret. Now, you're talking about people across the country, programs, nonprofits that have lost, lives have been altered because of organizations not being able to help people. All for what? Justin Fox, who admitted to using ChatGPT to sift through the grants was asked to define DEI.
How do you interpret DEI?
There was the EO explicitly laid out the details. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
It's okay. I'm asking for your understanding of it.
Yeah, my understanding was exactly what was written in the EO.
Okay, so can you...
I don't remember what was in the EO.
So right now, do you have an understanding of what DEI is?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your understanding as you sit here today in this deposition?
Well, it was exactly what was written in the EO. And so anytime that we would look at a grant through the lens of complying with an executive order, we would just refer back to the EO and assess if this grant had relation to it.
Okay, but I guess I'm stepping back from your methodology strictly in terminating the grants. Do you have an understanding as you sit here today of what DEI means?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your understanding of what it means?
Well, it is exactly what was written in the EO.
Okay, so
and I don't have the EO in front of me, but that was we would always reference back to the EO and make sure that this grant was in compliance with the EO.
I understand that. Okay, but I'm not asking necessarily about what was in the EO. I'm asking very specifically about your present understanding of DEI. Do you have a present understanding of DEI?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain what that present understanding is?
Well, it is just easier for me to be referencing back to the EO.
This is not my opinion. You guys, you're hearing it for yourself. These folks are 25 and under, and they don't know. And I'm talking about huge decisions. Now, the richest man in the world put these Doge Bros on to do this, to help find all of these savings. I remember the first month, second month, it only lasted 8 months. There's no savings. And then you come to find out how they went about this. Imagine this. Maybe I can touch maybe a Seahawk fan that's listening right now. The Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. But this is a real question. Would you be okay if the NFL hired someone to referee the Seahawks in the Super Bowl and could not explain what a pass interference was? And then you're now allowing AI to make the call on this? Now, don't get me wrong. No. AI, beautiful thing. It can be used as a tool. You can do all kinds of things. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that the richest person in the world did this. So when we have government that are making decisions and they start saying, well, let's ask the robot first. You're outsourcing judgment to 25-year-olds to make these decisions. It's not laughable. It's actually kind of sad. Left, right, it does not matter where you fall on these things. These things are happening. And the last thing that I want to say, because I think that a lot of us hear this and we hear that Doge was a complete joke, a failure. A lot of us, it's like, oh, well, that's just, we're so used to failure that it's no big deal. But if there's one thing I know about the next generation that's coming behind us, all of this stuff right here will be what they will learn from. They will see these things and be like, what were you guys thinking? They will see that the most of our problems have been self-generated. Seriously. Again, I know, get rid of that 3-letter word of DEI and hire them on merit, right? Like these 25-year-old, adults. By the way, it's funny. Sometimes they call them kids at 25 years old. I wonder how come they are called kids and they're 25 years old.
Don't call them kids in this position.
No. Coming up next, we got Flex Fridays and including the GM for the Seahawks said something about the millionaire tax. Well, let's talk about that next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
March is an exciting time to be in the garden, especially if you'd love to be growing your own delicious fruit or berries. Hi, I'm Gabby, veggie, herb, and strawberry buyer here at Sky Nursery. This month only, we have a wide variety of Northwest-grown bare root strawberry bundles, a great way to save a lot of money on planting your own berry patch. We also have tons of blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, as well as persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Come on into Sky, because there's nothing like the taste of your very first fruit that you grew yourself. Visit skynursery.com.
Say goodbye to clogged gutters and climbing ladders. With K-Guard by Guardian, leaves stay out, water flows freely, and your home stays protected year-round. Enjoy true peace of mind. No maintenance and no rust. Choose from a variety of colors to match your home's look and boost your curb appeal. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect what matters most with Guardian, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Visit GuardianRoofing.com to learn more.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Attending a free seminar now can help prevent your entire life savings from being devastated. Some simple planning will ensure you don't run out of money. Seats are filling up and your family's future is too important to delay. Sign up now for the next seminar in Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett on March 17th. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Micro's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words switch today in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
It is a Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to you. All right, we got a lot going on. All right, 10 o'clock. Coming up here in less than 15 minutes, the executive of Pierce County, Ryan Mello, will join the show. Got some good stuff going on down there in Pierce County, so he joins us. That's going to happen in less than 15 minutes. It is Flex Fridays. It is. Before I get to that, and we'll kind of see what you've been doing, text in anything that you've been doing this week, any workouts or anything, because every Friday at 9:47, we do go over It's Flex Fridays. But before we do this, during the break, Paul Holden, awesome producer, is, of course, during the break, just to let you guys know how things go. He's always checking the news, see if there's anything that's new. And during that time, he just told me something, and I thought you should hear it too, because I thought it was interesting. He just told me something that the Treasury Secretary said. Paul, help me.
Yeah, according during an interview with Sky News, there was a question about a specific price points could prompt a conversation with Donald Trump to say that the war in the Middle East or the actions in the Middle East are unaffordable, and he responded, absolutely not. So no price tag too high to make the Iran war would make it unaffordable.
Huh. The reason why I found that interesting, and I wanted to say that, like, just say that one time. Like, there's no price tag. Like there's no amount of money to stop at all. It's unlimited. Like, there's no price tag to this. And yet, in America, there's going to be somebody that can't afford some type of new treatment for cancer. There's a family out there struggling with food insecurity. There's people working paycheck to paycheck. There's families that, like, to hear that there is no budget on something when I know that there's a lot of programs in America where I constantly hear, gee, you can't give too much money towards it. You always want to give money. There's not enough money for that. There's not enough money for this. It's not enough money for those things. But for this, no price tag. It is Flex Fridays. Keep it light here. Paul, what have you been doing to work out this week, man?
I've been a little bit slacking on my gym, but I hit 1,400 miles on my bike this week, so I'm still biking in every day. I'm still working on that, and I've upped my step count as well. Me and the dog are taking some longer walks, but I gotta get myself back in. I gotta get a consistent, good gym routine, and I think it's gonna, because I'm not sleeping as good as I once was when I got a good routine. So I gotta start throwing around some more weights. I think in the weight room, Dave.
Bro, so you actually rode on your bike this morning?
Yeah, yep. It was. I left about a little after 6 o'clock. Me in the snow, hanging out, and it's a simple ride. I mean, it was the worst thing was being wet, but it was an easy ride.
But what goes through, like, what are you thinking, like, when it's wet like that, you just ride? I mean, you don't.
It's like, well, got to get to work somehow. You know what I mean? But it's not fun. When we were talking a little bit at the top of the hour about the weather and the mildness of the winter, when we had those 2 weeks or so and it was just raining constantly, we had the flooding and like a lot of those issues. Yeah. When it's just wet like that, it's not a very fun ride. I'm trying to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. No. But you know, what's cool is I'm not the only one, and I want to give a shout outs to the guy that I've now seen back-to-back days.
Yeah.
He's out there running a little after 6 in the morning, shirtless. Today included. No shirt. He's got his heart rate monitor on there. He's just running in his own pace. And he's
out there shirtless. Now, Nick, you've been doing the show with me a long time.
Yeah.
You know I have a question for Paul. What do you think I want to ask Paul about the guy that's shirtless?
You got me there.
Well, Nick, what's been your workouts?
Well, I've been still going on runs every other day if I'm, trying to stay into that routine. But it's also the little things that I'm trying to add too. When you're watching TV at home or something, don't sit down all the time. Stand up for a good 30 minutes while you're watching the show or something. And then I got a little, few small dumbbells as well. Do a little, shoulder pressing, little curls on the side. Because it's not always just working out for me. I feel like you got to be doing things while you're relaxing or resting, so you kind of keep that caloric deficit going, keep those things burning. But sounds like Paul was getting a little agility training too while he was avoiding that duck on his bike ride too.
You know what? Shout out to my good buddy Dave Ross. Dave Ross, when he would do the show, he would
always standing up.
He would always stand, and I'll admit, I got to get my stand out time in a lot more. Great idea, Nick. While you're watching that TV show, go ahead and stand up and watch that show for like 30 minutes.
Just standing up a little bit just helps, not just sitting down, And it was funny you mentioned Dave Ross. He would stand up too, and during the breaks I would catch him sometimes doing some of those dips, in the chair, getting that arm work in too.
Yeah, good stuff. I gotta start doing that more. Were you gonna say something, Paul?
I was gonna say, B in Puyallup says I went to spring training for 3 days, walked around the ballparks at about 13,000 steps a day in the 80s there, so 80 degrees in the temperature there. So
yeah, a lot of people texting in. A lot of you guys starting to do it. Hey, congrats! Keep it up with the Flex Fridays. Love it. Okay, here's the rest of the show. This is what we got. At 11 o'clock, the Big O, I call him, Omari Salisbury with Converge Media is going to join us in studio. He had an awesome, amazing conversation with the chief of Seattle Police Department, Sean Barnes. And in that discussion, they talked about something very specifically that, yes, crime is down, but there is an alarming statistic that we have to discuss. So that's at 11. But coming up next, in less than 10 minutes, Ryan Mello, executive of Pierce County. He will join the show. Stick around. We do all that next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
See country star Aaron Lewis and the Stateliners at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, March 24th at 8 p.m. And now an added show on March 25th. He's a multi-platinum artist whose raw lyrics and powerhouse vocals have captivated fans for decades. Now he and his band, the Stateliners, are coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see Aaron Lewis at muckleshootcasino.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Do you like helping others? Become a Sheba volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Sheba at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. The Pentagon says all 6 Americans aboard a military refueling plane that crashed yesterday in Iraq died. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane.
The incident occurred over friendly territory in western Iraq while the crew was on a combat mission, and again was not the result, as CENTCOM has said, was not the result of hostile or friendly fire.
CBS's Eleanor Watson.
Officials tell CBS that the cause of the incident may have been a mid-air collision, but the incident is still under investigation. Both Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, General Dan Kane, and Secretary Hegseth offered their condolences to the families of the service members this morning during the briefing.
Defense Secretary Hegseth vowed today to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and indicated there's no evidence it's been mined by Iran. CBS's Matt Gutman is in Amman, Jordan.
Analysts continue to tell us that Iran's game plan is to stretch this out, to make it last as long as possible, to ensure that the U.S., Israel, but particularly the Gulf states and Americans at home and people around the world feel the pain of this war, that they feel it in their wallets because gas is getting more expensive. Fuel costs are rising everywhere.
The security staff at a Detroit area synagogue is being praised for killing the armed man who drove into the building yesterday.
It was really miraculous that everybody was safe.
That's lead Rabbi Josh Bennett talking about the attack yesterday.
We knew that something like this might happen.
Staffer Cassie Cohen was working at the West Bloomfield Township Synagogue when it happened.
Thankfully, we've actually had active shooter training.
None of the students or staff at Temple Israel were injured, and law enforcement was on the scene within 5 minutes. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Republican lawmakers in Florida have passed a bill that would require voters to verify their citizenship when registering. CBS's Jim Crisula.
Critics say the new requirements would result in the removal of perhaps thousands of voters from the rolls and the disenfranchisement of young voters. The proposed law would not take effect before this year's midterm elections. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis supports the legislation.
Honda has scrapped plans to build 3 new electric vehicle plants in the U.S. Jeff Gilbert of affiliate WWJ Detroit.
This follows an extensive strategy review as Honda cites changes in fuel economy rules and the end of federal EV incentives. The cost of the EV changes, along with tariffs and issues in Asia, will lead Honda to a nearly $16 billion loss.
Wall Street, the Dow is down 37 points. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
We're going to go right to Chris Sullivan, who has your KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic, because weather has the roads really dicey right now.
Yeah, we still have a bunch of different closures, and we just got an update from the DOT that 410 near Crystal Mountain is going to remain closed until further notice. Just low visibility, lots of snow, and trees down. So all the people that were sitting there waiting to try to get their hands on some powder, you're going to be turned around, and you can't get to Crystal. Westbound I-90 remains closed in Easton. Eastbound 90 closed in North Bend. Eastbound 18 remains closed today because he's.
If you're playing golf, I want to hear from you.
This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Last year was one of the hottest on record. You can get a new heating and cooling efficient system from Home Comfort Alliance for the price of AC. You could visit them at homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Jillian Raftery. First, the wind and now the snow. 23,000 customers are out of power in the Puget Sound region. Andrew Padula is with Puget Sound Energy and says the heavy, wet snow is making more work recovering from that windstorm.
That also creates the challenges and the dangers for our crews that are out there trying to check the lines and prioritize those systems to make sure that everything is working properly. So if they can't get in there due to falling branches or trees, that's going to create some problems for us and delay that restoration effort.
It's also been a busy week for state transportation crews. Casey Conley is with WashDOT and spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
Our crews have been out all night throughout the region applying product, and in many cases, as you're seeing plowing, accumulating snow. SR-18 has been an area of focus. We have crews on SR-410 east of Enumclaw trying to reopen a section of highway.
Snoqualmie Pass ski area lost power in that storm, and they do plan to open Summit Central with generator power, though right now I-90 eastbound to get to the pass is closed. The road to Crystal Mountain is closed, which means the resort is too. Mount Baker is open today, though, and it's supposed to have its first day of night skiing. Stevens Pass Ski Resort is also showing it's open. Some people, though, loving the snow, like Maxine Frost in Tacoma.
It's beautiful because we have this cherry blossom tree, and you can see the pink blossoms under the white snow. It's just gorgeous.
She says she's done with the cold, though. She's ready for spring. Let's get the weather forecast to see if any spring weather is in the long-term forecast. We're showing snow turning to rain today, partly cloudy tomorrow, overnight lows in the mid-30s. It's 32 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Yep, it's Fresh Fridays right here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Paul is here, Nick is here, everybody is here hanging out. Don't you worry. Ursula will be back on Monday. We got a lot in store for you. Remember, at 11 o'clock today, 11 o'clock, we will have Converged Media here. Omari Salisbury, the Big O, will join us, talk about all kinds of things. So at 11 o'clock, he will join us. But right now, let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
Joining us right now is the executive of Pierce County, Ryan Mello, who took office here about a year ago or so. And, of course, his proposal right now on a pause on new detention facilities in Pierce County and the direction the county is heading. There's a lot of people talking about it, and he joins us right now. Good morning, Executive.
Good morning, G. Great to see you. Go Hawks.
Good to see you, and always go Hawks. All right. The proposal to pause new detention facilities in Pierce County right now is getting a lot of attention. Walk us through why you believe that this moratorium proposal is necessary right now.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, as always, G, so we can share some of the really good work happening in Pierce County and answer questions directly. I did propose this week a temporary moratorium for involuntary detention facilities of all kinds. So think anytime someone is involuntarily detained. We put this pause on It's in front of the council, and it'll be debated over the next couple of weeks, scheduled for a final vote by the Pierce County Council on March 24th. The reason is many. First of all, Pierce County is home to so many involuntary treatment facilities. Think the Special Commitments Center on McNeil Island, Western State Hospital, numerous jails, the Tacoma Immigration Detention Center in the Tide Flats of Tacoma, so many more, right? These have really huge impacts to our community.
Mm-hmm.
They're a drain, they're a big drain on our public services, right? Our first responders have to respond to them often. The health department has to respond to them often. There's often protests and all kinds of disruption. And they don't collect any taxes. They don't generate many jobs or revenue often for these kinds of involuntary detention facilities. Also, the federal government just a little over a month ago put out a request for information. They're looking for many more private detention facilities across the country to for their immigration plan that this current federal administration is undertaking, right, with great veracity. So we want to put a pause on all of those kinds of facilities so that our community can have more say about where these are sited, if they are sited, and what the impacts are. Get the known impacts so we can mitigate the impacts to our tax base, to first responders, to our neighborhoods and communities. We just think it's the right thing to do for us to better understand the extreme impacts that happen from a lot of these involuntary detention type facilities.
Executive, you just brought up the people of Pierce County and people having a say during the potential 6-month moratorium. So when you say community should have a say and a voice in this, who ultimately makes that decision? Is it you, the executive, the council, or the people that live in the area near where these facilities could be built?
Yeah, this moratorium is going to give us at least 6 months of a deep community engagement process. So expect community meetings throughout our community where our land use jurisdiction is to site different types of facilities. What do we want our neighborhoods to look like? What kind of economic development do we want? What facilities do we need to keep our community safe and deliver public services? Those are the kinds of questions we'll be asking our community. In community engagement. At the end of the day, the decision maker here is the elected Pierce County Council. They adopt our local laws and codes, and so my staff will lead the community engagement, make recommendations to the council, roll up what the community feedback is. At the end of the day, the Pierce County Council is the decision maker.
You're joined here by the executive, Ryan Mello, here on the Gee Ursula Show. He's the executive of Pierce County. Grateful that he's hanging out with us right now. I want to get very specific because obviously there's been talks in the potential of ICE detention centers in different places. So my question is this. Is this moratorium about the proposed ICE detention facility, or would you be proposing this pause even if immigration wasn't part of the conversation?
Yeah, the urgency and the timing of it, the why now of it is because primarily Department of Homeland Security, Federal Department of Homeland Security, looking for many more 1,600 bed warehousing of people facilities. So that is the why now. We have taken advantage of the moment to also be inclusive of other involuntary detention facilities because we're hearing of the state and others potentially citing other involuntary type detention facilities in our community. And so, that's why our moratorium is broader than others. So you see moratoriums in SeaTac and Tukwila, Seattle, King County, Renton, I believe, other communities in Puget Sound. Ours is broader for these other reasons. Now, look, we need other facilities. I'm not saying we don't need facilities that support people with substance use disorder, right? People who are really inflicted with alcoholism or addicted to substances, and sometimes they need to go to involuntary treatment in order to stage their recovery and get better. Absolutely, we need those kinds of facilities, but we need to be incredibly thoughtful about where those are, how they're supported, and we need to be mindful about how our community grows. So we're going to be mindful about the entire array of involuntary detention type facilities in Pierce County.
Well, exactly. As a resident of Pierce County got a lot, y'all. Western State Hospital, Special Commitment Center. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it's time for other counties to go ahead. I said that, not you, but it's time for other counties to kind of step up a little bit. All right, let's switch gears a little. You've been in office now for over a year. So there's people right now listening in Pierce County, including me being a resident of Pierce County. What's the biggest thing that Pierce County residents should feel differently today than they did before you took office?
I think one of, I'll cite two that we're working really hard on. One is public safety. We've been working really hard with all of our justice partners, the complete justice system. It takes an entire justice system in order to keep our community safe. I'm so proud of the work that we've helped lead with our justice partners, our local prosecutor, sheriff, the courts, the Juvenile Justice Center, my office, the council, others. We recently passed a justice fund, a dedicated source of revenue to keep Pierce County safe. And look, Gee, the data is really clear. The data shows that over the last year, especially, crime is going down and trending down, especially violent crime. Violent crimes of all kinds is trending down. And is down. And we're really proud of that. And we got to keep that momentum headed in that direction. So the council recently passed a dedicated source of revenue. This is a penny on a $10 purchase or a dime on a $100 purchase, all dedicated to public safety. It's going to make sure that we have the personnel for a complete justice system, not just sheriff's deputies, though that's very important, but enough jail guards so we can properly staff the jail. Enough prosecutors so we can prosecute those crimes and have public defenders for those that need it, and courts that work and can process cases efficiently. And look, Gee, there's other parts of our justice system that folks often don't get to look under the hood of. Things like our jail. Our adult jail is literally falling apart and needs to be renovated. And that takes money. There's other parts of our justice system that needs dedicated investment. And our revenues in local government simply are not keeping up with the cost of doing business. We have really flat revenues in local government, really flat revenues, and our costs rise because of our labor costs and other costs of services and materials. So this is a dedicated source of revenue. It was just passed last week by the county council, and it's going to really continue to help keep Pierce County safe and make Pierce County safer. So really proud of that. Folks can learn more about that at piercecountywa.gov/justice fund. There's all kinds of details about that. Look, the other area that we've been working really hard on is about affordability, especially housing affordability. Folks can't do much of anything else if they don't have stable, affordable housing, a roof over their head. So we've been working super hard. And in the development pipeline, as of today, in the development pipeline, there are 2,900 affordable homes in the development pipeline. These are affordable to people, making $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year. These are people who work hard for a living, get up every day, go to work, right? These are teachers, these are nurses, these are retail workers. These are folks who wake up every day to go to work, who really struggle to afford a safe place for them and their families. So we have 2,900 affordable homes in the development pipeline. As this time last year, it was right closer to 1,400, still progress, but that demonstrates that we're making even more progress and really focusing on public safety and housing affordability here in Pierce County.
You listen to the voice of the executive, Ryan Mello of Pierce County, here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Appreciate his time right now. We got about less than 5 minutes right here, executive. One of the things that comes up, not just in Pierce County, but all over the state, a lot of folks feel like government moves way too slow, right? You hear that all the time. You're laughing because you know that you've heard that before. I need to ask you this. What's one thing that you're trying to speed up inside of county government down there in Pierce County?
For sure. Really trying to speed up how we permit housing.
Oh, goodness.
And there's a lot of really good data that we're making good progress. I've directed our public works planning and permitting team to really dig deep here, because time is money, right, in construction. And if we can drive down the cost of getting a permit and the time to get a permit, time is money. And we can build more housing, quality housing, and affordable housing for our communities. So that's one area that we are really making progress on. And you can see a data dashboard on our Pierce County website that really demonstrates that we're actually driving down the time it takes to permit housing in our community.
All right. Before you go, I got about 4 or 5 rapid questions. These are gonna be tough for you. These might be the hardest questions you've ever had to answer. Here we go. Here's the first one. If someone just gave you $1 billion for Pierce County, what's the first thing that you'd fix?
I'm a broken record this morning, G. I think I would build more housing. We are so short on available units, and it's so foundational to people's prosperity and health and safety. So I would spend a good chunk of that $1 billion leveraging what we got already cooking to build much more affordable housing for our community.
Okay. All right. Now, obviously, you've been in government a long time. Before this, you were Pierce County Council, all those. You've been in government a while. But what's one thing that's something that most people think that the county executive controls, but he actually doesn't?
I think a lot of folks think that I control how sheriff's deputies, local law enforcement is deployed, where they're deployed, where they patrol, how they do their job, and where they're at in any given moment. I do not do that for local law enforcement, our local police departments, or our sheriff that patrols unincorporated Pierce County. So that's not my responsibility. But I'm leaning into, making sure that our justice partners have the financial resources to be successful. That's why we're so proud of the Justice Fund.
Gotcha. What's the most underrated place in Pierce County that people should visit?
I think the most underrated place is the northern entrance of Mount Rainier National Park, the Carbon River entrance of Mount Rainier National Park. A lot of people go to the southern entrance in the Squally. Northern entrance, the small towns of Carbonado, Wilkeson. Folks should make this their trip this spring and summer. Best pizza in Washington State, hands down, G. I'd love to go with you. Seriously. Yeah. Best pizza in the town of Wilkeson. Gateway to Mount Rainier on the northern entrance of Mount Rainier National Park.
I got to tell you, I need to get brushed up on these places in Pierce County. I just go to Costco and Puyallup.
We gotta get you out.
I go to South Tacoma Way to go get some pho. I got to do a better job, executive. I got to do better. Hey, we really appreciate your time. Really, thank you so much. Before you go, if you could only choose one sport to watch the rest of your life, would it be football or American football? Soccer or football?
Football. NFL all the way.
NFL all the way. Executive Ryan Mello, thank you so much for joining our show. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Good to see you, G.
You too as well. Hey, Paul, I got to do a better job down in Pierce County, man. Like all of those places that he named, I don't know where they are.
Well, now you got to get your bucket list going. Well, I will say, when you're moving and grooving, you don't necessarily give yourself a lot of time to explore. When it's your busy season, you're often leaving the shows on Friday and heading to either up north or down south or heading to the airport, I feel like, after it. You usually always got something going on.
Yeah, man.
To be fair, though, I think he threw a bit of a curveball with that Mount Rainier. That's out in the corner of Pierce County. When you think Pierce County, you think Tacoma, Lakewood. That's out there.
Have you been over?
It's nice, though. Yeah, not the north side. South side near Paradise, the entrance to Mount Rainier. But what he was talking about sounds really cool as well.
Best pizza in Washington.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
If you say best pizza, that's raising the eyebrows.
But how far is where's Wilkerson at? Like, how far is that? Like, I mean, are we talking about a less than 45-minute drive from where I am in Tacoma? Or
probably
what?
From Tacoma, it's maybe 45 minutes to an hour, I feel like, to get to Mount Rainier. Yeah. That's a bit out there.
Something about pizza, man. When you say pizza, especially on a Friday, growing up as a kid, we had pizza
Friday?
On a snowy Friday. I can't do it. Nope, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to have pizza tonight. No.
We'll see what Monday brings.
All right. Hey, we got a lot going on. Remember, 11 o'clock, the Big O, Amari Salisbury, he will join the show. He had an interview, sit down with the chief of Seattle Police Department, Sean Barnes, and we're going to dig deep into that discussion. But right now, what if I told you that some of the lowest paid federal workers in America right now are being asked to work with no pay? We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
For years, I've been telling you how much we care for our hens and the land here at Wilcox Farms. But don't just take my word for it. Our family's commitment is backed by trusted third-party certifications. Hartley Wilcox here. Wilcox eggs are USDA organic, meaning no synthetic pesticides or GMOs. We're certified humane, ensuring our hens live with dignity and space to roam. We're salmon safe, protecting Northwest waterways, and recognized for sustainable farming practices. These aren't just labels. They're proof that every one of our eggs comes from a farm that values animal welfare, environmental stewardship, and your family's health. So next time you're at the store, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. They're not only delicious, they're certifiably humane and organic, raised with care you can trust. Learn more at wilcoxfamilyfarms.com, because doing the right thing isn't just our promise, it's our principle. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Researchers have found a direct correlation between daylight saving time and increased car accidents. If you're in a car accident, call CAR. The Herald Car Law offices will save you time and money. When it comes to medical bills, repair costs, missing wages, or non-economic damages, Herald Car Law offices can deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. Find out more at carlaw.com. That's CARR, carlaw.com. Car accident? call CAR.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same-as-cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. March is an exciting time to be in the garden, especially if you'd love to be growing your own delicious fruit or berries. Hi, I'm Gabby, veggie, herb, and strawberry buyer here at Sky Nursery. This month only, we have a wide variety of Northwest-grown bare root strawberry bundles, a great way to save a lot of money on planting your own berry patch. We also have tons of blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, as well as persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Come on into Sky, because there's nothing like the taste of your very first fruit that you grew yourself. Visit skynursery.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A late season surprise for most of us. Snow falling all over the region. Here's meteorologist Ted Beener.
Pretty widespread precipitation across much of western Washington. The heaviest amounts are more down towards the South Sound and Centralia, Chehalis. And up further north, we've got lighter precipitation, but it's mainly falling as snow throughout the Puget Sound area. And by the time you get up towards Bellingham, hardly anything is going on at this point.
He says most areas should see snow turn to rain this afternoon, but there's a chance we could have a repeat of this tomorrow, with chances for a small amount of snow accumulation in foothill areas 500 feet or above. More than 25,000 customers are out of power in the Puget Sound energy network. The snow has complicated efforts to get the power back on after Wednesday's windstorms and causing new outages. Crews are working around the clock to get that power restored. Military leaders provided an update on the war with Iran and the latest U.S. casualties during a Pentagon briefing.
U.S. Central Command has confirmed all 6 crew members were killed when a refueling plane crashed in Iraq. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
War is hell. War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker, bad things can happen.
Hegseth says Iran's leaders are desperate and have gone underground.
That's what rats do.
As for the closure of the Strait of Hormuz,
something we're dealing with. We have been dealing with it and don't need to worry about it.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
We're now going to turn to KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Chris Sullivan gets some extra time to tell you about all the problems on the roads right now.
Well, I'm going to start with the positive news, Jillian, because we don't get to do that very often. But US 2 in Skykomish has finally opened in both directions. It had been closed most of the morning. You had a couple of different spin-outs, a crash, a bunch of trees down. It just reopened. So Highway 2 is open. You can get up to Stevens Pass. The problem is that the conditions on the road are not great. 18 eastbound remains closed over the Tiger Mountain Summit. That's because of a car that spun out up there, and the conditions there are pretty terrible. Eastbound 90 is closed right there at milepost 34 there at North Bend, so you can't get over the pass. Westbound, you can't either because they have a jackknife semi, milepost 70 in Easton, so nothing is moving between the passes, so that is not a positive thing. Looking at, and 410 also closed until further notice down towards Crystal. Looking at a new stall to tell you about, northbound 405 at 167 in Renton. Just a little bit of a backup behind that, still only 20 22 minutes to get you up to Bellevue. The Valley Freeway is 35 minutes from end to end, 35 as well from Federal Way to Seattle. Lake Bridges still good, and coming down from the north end, no issues, even with the lack of the express lanes on I-5. We've got about a 38-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Visit Subaru of Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during the Subaru Lot to Love event now through the 31st. SubaruofPuyallup.com.
We are going to warm up just to 40 degrees as snow turns to rain later today. Overnight lows in the mid-30s. It's 32 degrees right now and snowing in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Ooh, Nick, that's a good groove there.
Yeah. Little Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
You want a yacht rock, you're getting it today.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Hey, 11 o'clock, the Big O. Amari Salisbury comes in studio. We'll sit down and talk to him from Converge Media. And he got scenarios coming up at 10:47. Before we get to this next topic, I just wanted to say, I know a lot of you all, you got to hear the executive, Ryan Mello, in there. And I asked him about some underrated spots to go to. And here's what I can figure out. Like, a lot of you guys are texting in. It's like, oh, the Fairfax Bridge is closed and this and all this. Yes, I think he knows that. I think he knows a lot of that. But guess what? We're talking about it. We're talking about the pizza over there in Wilkerson. And by the way, I got to figure out how I got to get over to Wilkerson and get me some of that pizza. But guess what? Some of those businesses over there have been struggling a little bit because of those things. So why not talk about that area? So shout out to the executive for bringing it up, because now we're having a conversation about over there. And G has to figure out how I'm going to get over there. I didn't even know where it was. Still don't know where it is, but I'm going to find it.
You'll figure it out.
I'm going to get that pizza.
Yeah.
He might point you in the right direction.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about TSA. TSA workers right now are set to miss their first full paycheck today as efforts to negotiate bipartisan compromise to reopen the Department of Homeland Security have largely stalled in Congress. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve reports workers are scarce, sick calls are up, and salaries aren't even competitive.
Sick calls remain a problem, even if staffing has stabilized a bit. We've also seen hundreds of TSA officers quit. They've left to go take other jobs, more stable jobs. All of this creates a world of uncertainty, and as this shutdown continues, the likelihood is that you will see more disruptions like we saw at Houston Hobby, those really long lines.
I don't want to gossip. You ain't heard it from me, Miss Benita, but it's spring break coming up, and that's right around the corner.
The challenge here is you don't really know where the staffing problems are going to pop up, how long they're going to last. Is it one shift? Is it multiple shifts? Will it be one day, many days? And that's a lot of uncertainty for flyers, just as we are getting into the surge of spring break travel.
Let me tell you something that just never sits right with me. Every single time there is a government shutdown, and I hope that you can feel the same way as this. But during these shutdowns, it's the TSA agents that still have to show up to work at these airports every single day. Y'all know what they do. You know how important they are. Screening the bags, checking your IDs, keeping the lives moving, telling you, get rid of your water bottles. You know how they be screaming right there. But they're being told that they have to still go to work because they might not get paid until the adults in Congress figure things out. The people responsible for keeping the travelers on these airplanes, getting on the planes at the airports, the people responsible are being basically told, hey, come to work. Trust us. This paycheck, it'll come at some point. But remember, the people that's arguing and fighting, the folks in Congress, do they still get a paycheck? Yes, they do. It's interesting. It's almost like in this country with TSA, you talk about folks making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year around the country. You know the one that you go there at that airport and you see is 5 a.m. in those early flights, and they're standing there doing their job while you make your flight? They're expected to still work. And of the federal government, the federal workers in the country, shocker, I know, that the TSA workers, the ones that are supposed to go to work continuously, are some of the lowest paid of the federal workers. Just bothers me all the time. Question: should you make the switch to an electric car? The Seattle Times spoke to some people who looked into what it takes to make the switch and if current events are driving people's decisions. When they say current events, you guys do know there's an event that's happening that's continuously having gas prices raise up right now. According to the Seattle Times, several experts say high gasoline prices are a strong driver of EV sales, particularly if prices persist. Drivers also consider more gasoline-efficient hybrid vehicles during these times. Car shopping resource Edmunds analyzed consumer shopping data for the week starting March 2nd after the Iran war had begun. They found that interest in hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and battery EVs accounted for 22.4% of all vehicle research activity on their site that week, up from 20% the previous week. Analysts also look back at the last major nationwide fuel price surges in 2022, and they saw that consideration of electric vehicles, consideration rose sharply then. So my question to all of you, are you thinking about an EV, or maybe you already have an EV? Rest in peace to my EV that just happened. That was last Saturday.
Did you ever get that pedicure rescheduled, by the way?
You dang on right I did. We made it. It was supposed to be 11 o'clock. I think we made it at like 12:30. It bumped. I still got it done. But this whole idea of EV, like, it's not as easy as people think. These new vehicles are expensive.
Yeah.
Cars are expensive. Do you and your wife have an EV?
No, but I would love my goal for the next vehicle we buy is to be an electric. I just think because by that time it's going to be years for us, just the way we do it. But I'm hoping the infrastructure is going to continue to build up, the chargers and things like that, and just the quality. I just think I'm tired of paying. I mean, I'm tired for paying at the pump. It's nice that we went from 2 cars with gas and insurance down to just the one. But so no EVs yet. But I definitely for me, it's at the top of my list for that next big car purchase.
Nick, would you ever want an EV?
Oh yeah, either EV or hybrid. I mean, these days with gas being so expensive and just the cost of cars itself alone being a high price, I think it only makes sense to be going that direction, just to be saving gas.
Well, I said it last week on the show, and I told y'all $5 was going to be my threshold. That's what I was going to be talking about gas every single day. I'm going to be upset. What's the new threshold now?
Yeah, right. Because you paid it about 8 hours after the show.
8 hours. Have you ever paid $6 in a gallon?
Oh, gosh. But that's what we've gotten a lot of texts this week about folks that are buying diesel. Diesel's is experiencing huge jumps, and who knows what impacts that might have for shipping and all that stuff as well.
Well, I think it was a texter earlier this week. They said, hey, pay attention to the diesel. Yeah. You still, the diesel going up that way, the gasoline is sure to follow.
I was reaching 5 yesterday. I filled up my tank, 484, baby.
484?
Ooh, it's reaching.
Oh, so you've never done 5 before?
I haven't reached 5 before, no.
Oh, man.
You're in a lone island right now with the $5.
I'm going to tell you right now, you be at that pump making life decisions.
You're looking at the number creeping up. You're like, that's going too fast.
Hey, that's when you start going in and you say, excuse me, sir, ma'am, can I have $20 on number 2?
Yeah, that's when you start paying cash. I'm seeing like 30, 40 cent differences between cash and card these days.
Hey, but back in the day, though, listen, you give somebody a ride and they give you $5 for gas, that used to last a long time.
Yeah, it's like two gallons, couple of gallons.
They got to be giving you $15-20 now these days.
Matter of fact, I used to go in there and say, can I get $5 on number 3?
Yeah, $5 will get you around for a day.
Yeah. All right, scenarios next. Gee Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed Their electric bill is diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $36.99. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO News Radio or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Oh, good stuff, Nick. This is the Gee and Ursula Show. The Big O, Omari Salisbury, joins us in studio at 11 o'clock. But right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
So we're out to dinner, and my partner spent half the night laughing and talking with the server. I mean, really, like laughing, jokes, compliments. I mean, the whole thing. At one point, they even said, "You're the best server we've had in a long time. Hey, and what days do you usually work?" What? You can't ask somebody what days they usually work. I felt a certain type of way. I'm sitting there like, am I on this date or are we both dating the server or something? After we left, I brought it up and said it felt a little extra. My partner told me I was being insecure and that they were just being nice. But here's the thing. Being polite is one thing. Turning dinner into some type of long dialogue and comedy with someone else while I'm sitting right there just feels different. So I'm wondering, am I insecure or was that a little too friendly? 888-973-5476 is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Paul, you're up to bat first, sir.
Maybe a little insecurity there, but I'm not going to lie. As much as I love great service and a friendly wait staff, I really would rather you not hang around unless I know you. A good little conversation, this and that. You know, my dad always loved cracking a couple dad jokes there. But if you are on a date or something like that, and this is your opportunity to get to know someone, your time might be limited, your opportunities to see this person might be limited. I could see being a little peeved, but I wouldn't say this is a big deal breaker, but it would be an interesting conversation. I'd say the insecurity is, I wouldn't call you insecure. I would just say, be like, hey, it was a friendly person, I guess. But I can understand being frustrated when you're like, hey, hello, I'm here too. Hey, we're supposed to be hanging out. We're supposed to be on the date here. But, wait staff's got to deal with a lot too. So when you get a good interaction and a friendly face and a friendly person, that's not so bad either.
I think all things in this situation can be true. I don't want to pull my good old friend Ursula on this and do the classic, the classic all sides here. But I think all things can be true. I think sometimes there might be a little insecurity sometimes. And by the way, a little jealousy is good for you sometimes. That's number one. Number two, yeah, maybe the partner could kind of chill a little bit with the conversations. Come on now, know where we are. Have some social awareness would be important. You said something just now about your dad, and that was my dad, man.
What is dads and wait staffs? They can't stop. You're a dad. Are you cracking the jokes? When you take the kids out to dinner.
You know what? When my kids were younger, yes, because I that's what I saw my dad do. My dad did that all the time. He'd be talking to everybody. So I did that as well. But again, time and place. Now, I will say this. How someone treats the server is very important. So some of you guys, gals, if you're on some of these dates and the way you treat the server is being watched, meaning rude, that's going to be watched. Talking way too much, that's going to be watched. So just have a even keel on those type of things.
Yeah, I'm with you. One of the first things you can find about a green flag or a red flag about someone is their interaction at restaurants and wait staff.
Yeah.
Because it's about patience, it's about dealing with other people. a lot of stuff there when you're just getting to know somebody.
Nick, what's up, man?
I'd be a little sus in this case for what's going on, being on a date and going out with your partner. In another situation, it could make sense if he's with his friends or even on his own and he's being nice to the waitress, but you gotta read the room and not take attention away from who you're with. Jealousy, it can be healthy for, a little push and pull here and there, but the buck needs to stop at the politeness and not asking when they're gonna be at work the next time. I mean, for crying out loud, don't try setting up something else later. Keep it at the friendly compliments. It's justified to ask what's going on when they're asking these questions on the other side, because who's checking somebody out when you're already on a date with somebody else? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Nick, you naive, bro.
I think maybe you gotta be sly with it if you're really interested in them. You gotta get a little peek. You're not going full on like, what's your work schedule?
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, I'd say this. Do you all think that customer service is better or worse today?
Man, I'm going to pull Ursula, and it's so subjective. Because I've had people that go above and beyond, but we've also seen a lot of places just go, I'm at the counter, I just grab the stuff from the... And I'm no problem register, pick up from the counter, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm getting the greatest service, so to speak.
I think it's gotten worse just because there's so much self-checkout, self-automation.
Yeah. Yep.
And what really bugs me, too, if you're at a restaurant and they have the electronic tablet in front of you, they hand it out and they look away and they're waiting for you to give a tip. It's like, can you walk away for a second while I think about what I want to do? There's so much pressure on you when there's just standing right there. And it's like 18, 20, 25%. What are we going with?
Yeah, in some places, they just leave the tablet on the table, and now you're just supposed to pay through the tablet. You don't even you order through the tablet.
I'd rather have that than have them holding it in front of you.
Yeah, that's true. The extra pressure of just the baby, the puppy eyes.
But everything is so automated. It feels like they're just not doing as much as they used to.
Yeah.
It feels like you're just a transaction.
Exactly.
Check, please. Hey, the big O, Omari Salisbury from Converge Media. He joins us next. Gee Ursula.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here. Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring. Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now. JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet. Just a couple things, huh? Maybe more than a couple.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Do you ever lose your balance or feel dizzy for no apparent reason? Do you hear ringing in your ears or have migraines? These are all signs you could have a problem with your inner ear or vestibular system. To learn more, Call the Vestibular Disorders Helpline at 800-837-8428. That's 800-837-8428. Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connects to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The U.S. military now says all 6 crew members were killed when a refueling plane crashed in Iraq. More from CBS's Michael Wallace.
Iran claims it shot the KC-135 down, but the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, says no hostile fire was involved.
Our service members make an incredible sacrifice to go forward and do the things that the nation asks of them.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Iran's air defenses have been decimated.
Their missile volume is down 90%. Their one-way attack drones yesterday, down 95%.
He says Iran's new supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says today will be the most intense yet for strikes on Iran. CBS's Charlie D'Agata in Tel Aviv.
It means that they're dropping more stuff in those areas, in specific areas where they think the launch parts or launch pads are. And I can tell you, over the past 24 hours here, we're used to getting air raid sirens. We're used to getting texts. We have been getting a couple of those, but way down from what we've seen in the past sort of 24, 48 hours.
The U.S. has lifted sanctions on Russian oil to help bring gas prices down, but analysts warn that it will only provide temporary relief at the pump. AAA pegs the national average at $3.63 a gallon, up 69 cents from a month ago. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says diesel prices have jumped more than $1 a gallon in recent weeks.
Every day right now, 20 million barrels of oil is being blocked in the Strait of Hormuz. We've never seen this large of a kink in the global supply and demand balance.
CBS News has learned that the suspect, a Lebanese-born U.S. citizen who died after ramming a truck into Temple, Israel, and West Bloomfield, Michigan yesterday, had lost family in a recent airstrike in Lebanon. The FBI says yesterday's incident in Michigan was a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community. Governor Gretchen Whitmer calls it.
Yesterday's attack was anti-Semitism. It was hate, plain and simple. We will fight this ancient and rampant evil. We will stand together as we do it, and we will call it out.
The American College of Cardiology and 10 other leading medical associations have issued an updated guideline for the management of cholesterol, triglycerides, and other lipids and lipoproteins in the blood. Dr. Carl Oringer of the Naples Comprehensive Health System in Florida.
In the previous guideline, we had previously recommended that if a person has an LDL cholesterol of less than 70, they are at a satisfactory risk level to prevent future heart attacks. But now we've even lowered that further.
Stocks are down on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
A winter wonderland around our region, but it's tough to get around. We're going to go to Chris Sullivan with your KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic.
Yeah.
I declared a wonderland. My daughter's making a snowman right now.
Well, that's great. I love the fact that she's having a wonderland. It's not, because as you told me out in the newsroom, and we confirmed from the State Patrol and DOT, they don't know if they're going to be able to reopen I-90 today. Let that sink in. All about, basically from North Bend all the way over to the eastern area, both directions. Don't know if we're going to be able to State Patrol just posted some pictures. It's like whiteout conditions, just east of North Bend. So that's not pretty. We also have 410 closed. We both have both directions of 18 closed over Tiger Mountain. It's not pretty. As for the roads down here, not too bad at all, really. I mean, we just have some braking here and there. There's a crash on 18 eastbound approach just outside of Auburn, but before you get to the Green River. But really, our travel times, 40 minutes or less up the valley to Renton to Bellevue's under 20. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. And Federal Way to Seattle's 35. And we're 35 or less to go from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, and nothing across the lake. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App to listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Winter weather is impacting operations at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. At least 16 flights have been canceled with even more delays. We've gotten reports from people who have been sitting on the tarmac while de-icing takes place, and we'll work to get you more information about that coming up in the next hour. Back on land, you heard all those road closures in our traffic report.
We just want people, if you can delay your trip, please do. And then if you're going to travel, just take it extra slow.
State Trooper Rick Johnson with the Washington State Patrol says do not pass snow plows if you see them in front of you. More than 25,000 PSE customers are out of power now. There had been a few areas that were being restored after Wednesday's windstorms, but now snow is bearing down on wires and snapping branches and downing trees, creating a whole new set of problems. In Seattle, about 1,500 customers are offline now. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is changing direction on who will run Seattle City Light. She says the debate over her original choice had become a distraction, slowing down planning for the utility. Wilson had picked Dennis McLaren in January after firing former Chief Executive Officer Don Lindell. McLaren will still join the leadership team, but now as Deputy General Manager. According to the Times, the new top job goes to Rob Santoff, who already serves as Chief Operating Officer. We're going to check on your weather forecast now. The snow is supposed to turn to rain most of these areas. A high of 40 degrees today. Overnight lows in the mid-30s. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a little bit of a chance of snow in the morning as well. It's 32 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Yep, it is Fresh Fridays here on the Gee and Ursula Show. It's a little ugly outside today. Wherever you are, send those pictures in if you still got snow in your neighborhood. I gotta say, I've been lucky. I haven't seen snow the entire time.
What would you call this? Is cuddle season right now, G.
Oh, no, that's right. That's right. This is cuddle weather. That's right. In March, in preparation for, I think spring. Is spring officially like next week?
This is winter's last gasp.
Yeah,
then we get into it.
No doubt about it. Hey, coming up at 11:33, we do have Agree to Disagree. Stick around for that. But right now,
top stories at 11
on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Oh, this is a first for me. The Big O is here. That's right. Joining us right now is someone who spends a lot of time on the ground in the Seattle communities, talking to people, documented stories. By the way, he's an amazing storyteller. But more importantly, asking the questions that most others aren't asking. He joins the Gee and Ursula Show right now. Good morning, Omari.
Gee, what's up, man?
It's good to have you here, man.
Man, it's good to be here in the KIRO studios. You know, I've been on here plenty of times, but never in studio. So it's an honor. You're the first one to bring me up in here, by the way.
Okay, I love to hear that. I want to get right to it. There's all kinds of things. I'm going to ask you about Mariners, all kinds of stuff. But more importantly, recently you had a sit-down discussion with the chief of the Seattle Police Department, Sean Barnes. And in that discussion, what was your biggest takeaway from that conversation?
Yeah, so I talked to Police Chief Barnes, was it earlier this week? What's today?
Yeah, today Friday. I think it was Monday, right?
Man. Yeah, I talked to him earlier this week, and specifically around the issue of violence, youth violence. And some of the biggest takeaways was actually when he talked about the increase in the number of crimes that are being committed by juveniles.
I have some of that sound. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to play that, and then let's respond to it. I'm going to ask you more questions. Here is Omari Salisbury and Converge Media sitting down with the police chief, Chief Sean Barnes.
When you're looking and doing your research and you're running your numbers, what specific trends, if any, are you finding around the individuals that are committing crimes or selling guns or what things associated?
Yeah, the most alarming statistic that I saw in the data was that we had a 63% increase in juveniles listed as suspects in crime between the ages of 13 and 17. And that should give everyone pause, because in my estimation as an old man, these are our babies. These are our future. This is the potential of Seattle, and it just lets me know that this is no time to be polite. This is no time to be timid. We have to reach out to kids, even if you don't know them. Establish relationships with them. Let them know that there is a place for you here in Seattle, and we have to take a real whole of government approach to this. We have to be consistent again with everything that we do. We have to work together, and I think we as adults, we have to put aside some of our personal biases for the sake of these kids.
Omari, when you heard that 63% increase in teens, what were your thoughts?
Man, I mean, I had to let it sit in for a second. But, we're kind of seeing that play out here in the streets, Seattle and the greater, across King County, that we see an increase of different kinds of crimes that are happening by young people, and it's getting younger and younger. You heard him say between 13 and 17. Like 13, that's middle school.
Yeah. You're out in the community a lot covering these stories. What are the people saying that you come across, that you talk to, these families? What are they saying? Are they saying they're feeling a decrease in crime, or are they feeling like things are getting worse?
Well, I mean, so numbers are always going to be numbers, and there has to be. It would be disingenuous not to talk about overall numbers and decreases in certain things, shots fired, homicides, kind of right now, different kind of crimes, but how does that translate to how people feel, right? And I mean, certain things are happening and things are definitely occurring. And a group that always gets forgotten in these conversations is the actual victims, of course. You know what I'm saying? We put a lot of emphasis, like we're supposed to, on the perpetrators of crimes, but there's never really a discussion about what's left in its wake. And, all the way from a homicide all the way down to a breaking and entering or anything else, an assault, there's the victims that are there as well. And, when we find that it's younger and younger people in our community that are committing more and more serious crimes, I mean, we have to be able to get upstream and figure out how we as community, one, and I want to say community, but also government and can't solve all of our problems, and they shouldn't solve all of our problems. So it's also how, as a community and the resources that we have, how we can be more involved.
Okay, well, let's talk about that, because we talk about government, and usually we judge government on the numbers usually, and like you just said, the numbers are the numbers. So let's talk about community, and what could community do more? What can we do more of to help with this? Because there's obviously something happening that's driving teens to this type of life.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with Chief Barnes about causation, and it's kind of all over the place as to what drives young people. But here in Seattle, and many moons ago, people watching could see some of this gray hair. Man, growing up in the Central District, we knew not even to act up on the Metro bus because somebody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell your mama," or you know what I'm saying. It was such a sense of community, and not to say that the things didn't happen, and not to say that gangs didn't come in and things like that, but there was so many being part of community itself was very instrumental in young people. And I remember like Seattle when I was a kid, it was a kid city. We used to have Kids Day. Everything in the city was free. Ride the bus, you go everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Kids Day?
Yes, Seattle used to be a city that celebrated young people, that celebrated children, that celebrated youth. There was so many different kinds of just programs and opportunities. And, when I was young, I used to go to East Madison YMCA and, over there for Upward Bound and for swimming classes and for, this and that, for acting, and a lot when we talk to a lot of young people, and not to say that there aren't great programs that are out there, because you got things like Fathers and Sons Together, all the way to Jazz Ed, to EYFO. There's programs that are out there, but it doesn't seem to be in the abundance that was there. And a lot of young people, you'll find that these are the same kind of young people, if they were engaged in different things, they might not necessarily be out there in committing these crimes.
Yeah. You're listening to the voice of Amari Salisbury from Converge Media. He is the founder of Converge Media, and of course, he's talking about his recent sit down with the Chief of Police, Sean Barnes. Speaking of how things maybe were before, I want to flip to how things are now, because in the discussion that you were having with the chief, you guys are talking about how on different situations where there are different laws, especially for juveniles. Let me play that sound and I'll have you react.
As you know, our courts sometimes have different rules. For a juvenile, it has to be 5 convictions before they're eligible for some type of confinement, but that doesn't mean they're not eligible for some type of community intervention. We have to work together. We cannot be a mine, yours, and ours scenario. We got to work together and share information and touch these people and these kids individually.
Right. One last question. It's very important. 3 years ago, we were...
That's crazy. 5?
Yeah.
They weren't doing that back when you were growing up.
It wasn't quite like that. I wasn't in and out of juvie, but so I couldn't tell you. I mean, I had some partners that they in there, but I mean, so these are the things that are facing, and sometimes in our systems, our systems are so out of whack in one direction that we take it very far. In another direction. I believe a lot of these young people, they deserve opportunities for diversions and things like that. But, we also have to balance this is what I'm saying, is that the victims need to also be taken into consideration here. Right. We need to definitely take these young people into consideration and be like, well, man, how can we get you out of this pattern of criminal behavior? But we also can't say that victims of crime don't matter. And we find far too often it's been normalized. Violence in our communities has been normalized, and it's not just our community. We say the black community. We see every few weeks or less. It's thoughts and prayers, because somewhere in America this violence continues to arise, especially around gun violence, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been normalized. I mean, when we think about what's happening right here in the city of Seattle and across America, people are passing legislation, they're finding funds and everything else, because what they're seeing in other things happening in America, they're saying this is not normal. They're saying this is not normal. And when people talk about like what's happening with ICE and people being grabbed off the streets, they're like, this is not normal. I'm not saying a but or and in the ICE conversation, but because people are saying this is not normal, they're ramping up. We're not taking that approach around our children dying. We're not taking the approach about our young people committing crimes. This is not a normal state that we are living in here. But you know what? We've become so thick-skinned around violence, around young people dying, around what we see here, that there is a level of normalcy now that's there. And, we'll see how we can approach this. But it's not the same energy that we're finding around other issues in our society right now that very much are not normal.
I love how passionate you are right there. And I think that it has gone too far. And when you said that a second ago, what I mean by gone too far is it seems like it's gone too far with the amount of times, like in this situation, 5 times before there is a confinement or anything like that. So what can, especially in this state right here, what can our lawmakers do a better job of? Because sometimes I feel that there is a disconnect, that there are a lot of people that are just reading numbers before they are trying to do something.
Well, all the way across the board, people aren't talking to each other. Because if people who made laws sat with victims, they might find some kind of compromise that's in there that respects people who have been victimized of crime. But a lot of times the victims' voices aren't being heard down in Olympia and other places, right? The advocacy voices are being heard, and that's an important voice as well. There needs to be a voice to say, hey, how can we change these young people out of criminal behavior? But the voice of the victim needs to be also heard. But, this is across the city, G. When we talk about the issue of like the real-time crime center, the cameras, right? You got a whole population here that's just like, take down the cameras. But they not talking to the mamas out there in South Seattle who are like, I wish we had more cameras here because we could, to be able to stop crime. It's the same thing when you talk about like the officers in the schools. Right. Seattle is a city. It's a tale of two cities, right? And usually it's the other city that has the biggest voice. We hear like, man, we don't want cops in school. Go talk to these kids in these schools, and you'll ask them, what do you want around your safety? And so what's happening here, G, is far too often policy is being made and everybody is not at the table and considerations aren't there. Oftentimes the loudest voice or the most influential voice is the voice that wins out when it comes to policy.
And speaking of policy, stay right there with the resource officer. In fact, right now in Seattle, there are no resource officers in school. There was a decision to remove the resource officers. How does something like that happen?
Well, I mean, it came out of the wake of 2020. It's a lot of stuff that happened, right? That was the original decision that was made. But 3 years ago, I don't know if you caught this. This was right after this unfortunate murders at Rainier Beach. I released a video. We were the only cameras in the room where they had a town hall 3 years ago.
Okay.
And the students were there, and they told Chief Diaz to his face, they were like, no, man, we want you here. We want to be able to walk across the street at lunch and be safe. They're like, yeah, we want you in the school. We want to learn who the police are. I mean, it's there. Like, we ain't as big as KIRO, but we released it 3 years ago with students saying what they wanted to the police chief for Rainier Beach High School. And in those two town meetings, they foreshadowed what we saw there. They're like, man, you know what? We're in fear to go across and catch the bus.
Right.
This was 3 years ago. And so, I'm going to tell you, G, the youth right now are the truth right now, but ain't nobody listening to the youth. You see what I'm saying? What's really happened is a lot of times, it's almost like lobbying down in City Hall. It's lobbying in these places. And you know what? Victims don't have no voice. These young people don't have no voice. And so if we want to see things really change here, the listening needs to be broadened, and people need to have some kind of position around compromise. And we see right now in city government, they're struggling because the fact of that, like, this is a city divided. This is a city of 2 stories or more. In
What's the
2
2
ways.
stories? What's the 2 stories?
There's the story of access and influence, and there's a story of none. That's just it. And so, my big thing whenever I'm down at City Hall, I remind these guys on the dais to get out the echo chamber. Because you know what? These essential workers is working 2 and 3 jobs and everything else. They can't come to your public comment. They can't come to all these different things here. They might not be able to write a letter. You have to leave city council, the council chambers, and you need to walk these streets. You need to find and talk to people, because for far too long, a lot of times, City Hall has been driven by the loudest voice, the biggest bully, the most retweets, the most public comment. And man, that's great. But a lot of that stuff people are able to organize on any issue, right, left, or whatever. People have their organizations. But you know what? These young people are not being heard. The people who are often most impacted by crime are not being heard. Who gets heard are the people who are fearful of crime, not necessarily the people who are impacted by crime.
Say that one more time.
Cool. Who's most heard in this city are the people who are fearful of crime and not the people who are impacted by crime.
Look here, Omar Sarsbury, I only wanted to talk to you for this segment. Can you stick around? Because I do want to ask, because you got all the Mariners on. I do want to talk about that. I saw you did something big at T-Mobile. I want to ask you about that.
For you, G, I ain't going nowhere. I'll be right here.
I appreciate it, man. But by the way, I didn't know that anybody was going to come in the studio and be fired up more than me. But, man, come on now.
Big O loves the kids.
Hey, do me a favor. Can we get Big O some water? I didn't know this was going to happen. Look. He's going to stick around. I haven't even looked at the text messages. The dude's on fire right now. Come on, we got to keep it going. He'll stick around. We'll do it next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. KIRO Newsradio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
John Curley here. Last year was one of the hottest on record. Did you know a heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you efficient heating and cooling year-round for the price of paying for air conditioning? Don't wait. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are, as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right. Tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Don't miss the Seattle RV Show, March 12 through 15. Hundreds of new models and floor plans. RVs for every budget. RVs for every lifestyle. Special rates, incentives, exclusive prices, accessories. Tickets at SeattleRVShow.com. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same-as-cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. All this snow has led to intermittent ground stops at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport this morning. That's caused extensive delays for arriving flights. At least 45 flights have been canceled going in and out of the airport, and several hundred others have been delayed. In other news on that weather, 24,000 people are without power in the Puget Sound Energy Network, mostly in the Cascade foothills, even on Vashon Island. There's no ETA for crews to get that back on because there is a complicated repair going on and issues with trees over roadways and access to those power lines. Unlikely but not impossible snow this late in Seattle. Here's meteorologist Ted Beener.
But we've even had snow as late as the first 2 weeks of April. So it is always possible to have that kind of an event as we start to head towards spring.
The most common month for snow, you probably guessed it, is January. The governor of Michigan is thanking law enforcement for stopping an attack on a synagogue yesterday. The suspect, the FBI, says lost family in an Israeli attack in Lebanon. CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes reports.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is clear about the climate amid the attack.
This is targeting babies who are Jewish. That's anti-Semitism at its absolute worst.
Democratic Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin says,
I feel just an immense amount of pain, as does the rest of the community.
She says the Jewish community suffers 10 times the number of hate crimes than others do. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Meanwhile, in Iran, President Donald Trump is reiterating his goal there, total surrender. But CBS reports Iran is prepared for the war it's fighting now against the U.S. and Israel and has already created a huge arsenal of missiles in the Middle East. This morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth addressed allegations that the U.S. is responsible for a strike that hit a school in Iran, and he said there will be an investigation. Now we're going to go to Lori, who's been tracking our traffic. She has been following the passes, and we go to her now.
Yeah, good morning. Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Well, we have a couple of accidents. 525 at Lincoln Way, we have a stall in the left lane. And southbound 599 at I-5, we have a collision. That one's in the right lane. And yes, I-90 still closed. State Route 18 at Tiger Mountain closed. US 2 is open, but chains are required. Alderwood to South Center right now, you're just seeing a 3-minute delay if you take 405. It's a 35-minute drive, but I-5, a speed limit drive at 30 minutes. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
The snow is supposed to turn to rain, and we are going to warm up to about 40 degrees. It's 32 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Fresh Fridays to you. Way to come in with that, Nick. I see you, baby. The founder of Converge Media, Omari Salisbury, is here in studio right now, and he was cooking a second ago. But right now, I want to go right back into that discussion. Omari, you said something before the break, and basically what you had said was, as you said, the people that are scared of crime, their voices are being heard, but the people that are impacted by crime, their voices are not being heard.
No, I mean, and that's just what we continue to see here. I mean, it's almost like many things is who has the most influence, who has the most access, down in City Hall or down in Olympia. And Olympia is a whole nother story. Maybe I can come back on, who has having influence as opposed to the bigger population impact.
What do you want to say about Olympia? I can feel it. What do you want to say?
I'm going to just say right now, I'm not a millionaire, and so on the millionaire tax, but the service tax that they just passed on small businesses like Converge Media, them people down in Olympia have lost. So when we talk about people not talking to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can hear you down there in Olympia. When we talk about these legislators not talking to somebody, they ain't talking to no small businesses. They passed this service tax on the backs of 90,000 small businesses across the state of Washington, and I promise you, we getting whooped right now by the tax man. You know what I'm saying? The treasurer is down there in Olympia coming for their bread, and they ain't talk to nobody.
And so these are the Democrats.
Man, but this is what I'm saying. It's not a Democrat issue or a Republican issue. This is a livability issue. And down in Olympia, I think that they have lost touch with the livability. They are putting so many taxes on the backs of even small businesses. Like I said, I ain't a millionaire like you, G, so I know you got a different opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? We just from the Central District of Seattle trying to make it. But that tax right there, there's already small business. When people say businesses won't leave, Converge Media is struggling to stay in business. And now we got another tax that's coming from Olympia. And so when people like Converge disappear, people should know, like, you know what I'm saying? I'll stay out of the big boy business category, right? When they're talking about this business. Man, this is a business founded in the Central District of Seattle that's going to be 10 years old, God willing, on August 18th, 2026. And I am telling you that the tax burden that's now just come down on this service tax, which nobody in Olympia talked to it. I think it's important because people want to put this tax issue as a Republican issue or a Democrat issue or a black issue or a white issue. Put that aside, G. It's a livability issue. How can we keep Washington livable for small businesses, for big businesses too, or anybody, right? The conversation ain't happening. You know why the rotunda and the halls that they built way back in the day, right?
Yeah.
The design of it was based around the acoustics so you could hear in there, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happened in Olympia. It's an echo chamber. You see what I'm saying? They're hearing themselves. I challenge any elected official in Olympia, come to the Black Media Matters studio. Let us sit here and tell you that the challenges that we face and this new service tax that you've implemented has impacted us. I encourage legislators across Olympia, man, what's up? Get in the car with Big O. Let's go on a driving tour across the state. You know what I'm saying? We can go from Walla Walla, you go up to Colville, let's go to Spokane, let's go down to Vancouver and everywhere in between. Let's go to Yakima, Sunnyside. And when you talk to these small businesses in this service state, they're going to hear that you are punishing us. You are making livability difficult. You are making having a small business in this state difficult. And I would challenge Democrats that's out there, since they got a supermajority, man, get a spine. Get a backbone. Come over here. Come talk to us. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid. Drink the Kool-Aid of of your constituents who suffer over here under these burdens that are coming out of Olympia. It's not a Republican or Democrat thing, even though the Democrats are in power, G. It's a livability thing. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to pursue a comfortable life without the burden of overtaxation from government. And what's happened here in Seattle and across the state of Washington is a livability issue has now become a red or blue issue. Nah, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supporting anybody that's going to go and put an additional tax burden on people who are already struggling. Bruh, Converge Media, we poor people, bruh. We just make dope stuff. We are poor. That's why we're able to talk and tell stories about people who are poor and marginalized and everything else. We are those people, G. So that's why I can tell you with straight compassion. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm not a paid activist. I am a small business owner, though, that's getting whooped on by this new service tax.
Omari, why do you think that a lot of these folks are disconnected? Why down in Olympia, you talk about the echo chamber, why are they disconnected? Why don't they get it?
Because it's not enough people who's willing to stand on business, G. It's not enough people like me and you who's willing to stand on business. And so when the only time that anybody in the state legislature gets called out on something is by people who are perceived as far right, you see what I'm saying? It now reinforces that, like, oh, okay, whatever they're doing must be all good. Nah, bruh. And there's no expectation. Let's keep it real. Just because you're an elected official, that doesn't mean you're going to make every decision right. You human just like the rest of us. There's no expectation that they're going to get it right every time in Olympia, G, or right here at City Hall. But there is an expectation of it's like, man, let's try to do no harm. And if we are harming our constituents, instead of, being entrenched, let's be like, oh, okay, well, you know what? We might not have got that one right. How can we fix this? How can we bring relief to the people of the state of Washington or the people of the city of Seattle? And so if there's not any voices that will sit there and look people in the eye and say, you're harming me. And that's what's happening here. And there's not, and so guys go to Olympia, and for a while there, they go there to the dais here at City Hall because there's not the voice of someone saying like, nah, man, I know your intention wasn't to harm me. I know you didn't go down to Olympia being like, how can I harm my constituents? Mm-hmm. I know that wasn't the case, but man, let me just tell you, that's what's happening right now, family. Let's figure this out. And so if they moved with that sense of that real listening ear and that open heart, bro, a lot of these things would be resolved down in Olympia and here in City Hall. But, people, it's almost a sense of entitlement in a lot of elected spaces right now. People are feeling that they are entitled. They're entitled. Now, an entitlement means you don't have to listen to a G. You don't have to listen to an Omari or the people that you serve, whether they voted for you or not. That's a whole nother thing there. When you're in elected office, man, you're not there to just serve the people who elected you. You're responsible for all of us. So these voices need to be taken into consideration. It's not happening here in politics across the state of Washington, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to stand on business, and I'm going to stand for the other 90,000 or so, if that's the exact number, businesses across the state of Washington that got hit with this service tax, man. A lot of them can't come on with G on KIRO and talk about it, man. They just sitting there crying because, payroll, the tax man comes the same day as the payroll comes, and you're going to see who gets there first. And it's usually the Treasury and Olympia. And it's like, man, how do I pay my employees? You see what I'm saying? These are real things. Other thing is, a lot of people who are making these laws, man, they ain't never ran no business. They can't tell you a profit and loss. They can't tell you what it is to stay up late Thursday night trying to figure out how you can get the funds to put into the bank to be able to pay your employees, or try to figure it out and say, hey, bruh, you know what? We ain't got it right now, but we gonna have to pay you late on Monday or Tuesday of next week. They're not business people. Not everybody has to be. The legislature should be made up of a wide spectrum of amazing individuals, but who are in touch. But if you don't understand the challenges of small business owners, if people out there appreciate Converge, you should know, man, that we're small. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult for us. Government should not be an impediment to success.
That's a bar. Omari Salisbury, founder, owner of Converge Media. We're so grateful that you took the time to hang out.
Grateful to be here.
Thank you.
Yep.
We should do this again.
Anytime, G.
We got to do this again. Are you ready for the Mariners season to start?
Oh, yeah.
I only got 30 seconds, but
Hey, so look, I want to tell everybody, big shout out to the Seattle Mariners. Seattle Mariners have made Major League Baseball history. They're the first Major League team to put Negro League jerseys in regular rotation every Sunday. This season, they're going to be wearing the Steelheads jerseys. It's Steelhead Sunday. Catch your boy Big O in the ballpark all 13 Sundays of this year.
Good stuff. Oh, by the way, I know what Paul was texting me about. Agree to disagree. That was kind of an agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters. That happened during this segment because there was a whole bunch of, because Omari said something and then somebody was listening. They're like, oh, well, I disagree. Well, there you go. We had agree to disagree right there.
Hello.
We got to have you back, man. The text line is saying, please have him back.
Anytime.
All right. Text message feedback, and then we'll have words to live by.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why I buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's a crucial part of my balanced strategy. Gives me peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Text Dan to 989898. Again, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
There's nothing like the taste of the very first fruit you grew yourself. Well, March is the time to visit Sky Nursery for a wide variety of Northwest-grown strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and kiwi, persimmon, fig, plum trees, and more. Visit skynursery.com.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, this is Pete from Home Matters. Tune in this weekend when we'll talk with local business owners about everything in and around your home. Join us on Saturdays from 2 to 3 right here on KIRO News Radio, or listen to the podcast on mynorthwest.com.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Research shows a correlation between daylight saving time and increased car accidents. If you're in a car accident, call CAR. Harold Car Law offices will handle the insurance so you can recover. Go to carlaw.com. That's CARR. Car accident? Call CAR.
It's a great time to visit Subaru of Puyallup during the Subaru A Lot to Love event for extra savings through March 31st. Visit your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Whew. It's Gee and Ursa. Now listen, y'all.
The stove's still cooling off right now, baby.
Hey, man. Nick, look here. I'm not used to people being that fired up around
I have never
me.
On this show in my 5-6 years I've been on here, that was the most fire guest that we've had. He was very passionate about what he came in for. That was awesome.
The crazy thing is about that guest, I can't remember a time of, and now I know some of you all on this text line, and on this text line right now, conservatives, liberals, Democrats, Republicans, all of you all love that guest. And by the way, the name of that guest is the Big O, Omari Salisbury. He is the founder of Converge Media. And this is the first time that he's been in studio. And what he talked about, of course, if you missed it, we will have it, the podcast at the end of the show. And man, he was just bringing it. And I loved his message for today. Was basically talking about livability here in this state. It was something. Paul, your job got easier, man.
Yeah, sat back. Didn't have to, my agree to disagrees. We'll keep them for next week. Though,
yeah.
Because couldn't
couldn't
cool off the heat there.
Well, we got some text messages.
We got lots of text messages. Hey, shout outs to everybody that was sending us pictures throughout the day of the snow. It is still very much out there. We got a couple shout outs to give here, G. Troy in the 206, he's turning 42 years old today, and he's looking for a birthday shout out.
Troy?
He's checking us out every day when he's at work.
Hey, Troy, happy birthday, my bro. 42 years old. Let's go.
And we want to give a shout out to Lane Nyland. He is trying to help out businesses in Wilkerson and Carbonado by bringing out a car show every third Sunday of the month. If you want to go see a bunch of cool cars, it's going to be it's up in Wilkerson and Carbonado there. So just a couple of shout outs from some people doing cool things.
I need that pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
I need that pizza.
David in the 253 says, I've been so busy plowing snow on Snoqualmie Pass today, I almost forgot to tune into y'all's show. I hope you got to catch that 11 o'clock hour, though, so you didn't miss that one.
Okay.
Wrapping up the session in Olympia, lots of critics on the text line of the session this year. Clifton Woodinville says, the big losers, Washingtonians. Spending got further out of control, no fiscal responsibility. We all lose. We were talking about the Doge Bros earlier. Dave in Snohomish County says they look at people as data. You and your whole life are just a data point that they can play with. They don't see a human being. They just see information. I've known this for a long time, and I'm glad more people are catching on. Let's see here. Chris in Port Orchard says, when the government shuts down, the first ones to lose pay should be Congress and politicians. What do you think about that, G?
Yes, you know that, no doubt.
Those guys working TSA going with their first full paycheck, without their first full paycheck here, as we are in another government shutdown here.
Well, let's get to it. Words to live by. What you got for us, Paul?
All right, this one's from Ann Bradstreet, and it says, if we had no winter, the spring would not be so pleasant. If we did not sometimes taste of adversity, prosperity would not be so welcome.
Come on, Paul.
Trying to find something with the weather, the snow.
Okay, well done.
You got it, buddy.
All right. Let's check in with my main man, Nick. Nick, what you got?
Well, if you're superstitious, this Fresh Friday might give chills with that 13th day appearing on those calendars you fill. But that's not the only reason to have feelings on a swing while we're dealing with some flurries here in March before the swing.
That funky cold Medina.
But the cold and snow won't stop Paul from his cycling on the streets, even if he has to dodge a waddling duck in front of his seat. You must have some breadcrumbs in your pack or something to get the birds up in your business over there.
Tolo? Come on now.
Yeah, a little Tolo.
Hey, listen, y'all. It's been a great week. First of all, I got to say, I would not have been able to do this show without my main man, Paul. Paul, you are awesome all week. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And then you got to give a shout out to Nick. You guys know what Nick brings every segment. Thank you,
We
Nick.
all brought the heat this week.
Hey, listen, and thank all of you for listening and tuning in. Now, listen, Ursula, she comes back on Monday. And don't worry, the show will go back to being, how can I say this?
The babysitter's back. The babysitter's back?
Well, no. It's going to be the same type of food. It's just not going to have any hot sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go back to, being, ha, ha, ha. And you won't get a lot of that spicy stuff that's going to happen next week. You can go back and it's all comfortable. But every now and then, you got to admit, it's good to get uncomfortable sometimes. It's good to have uncomfortable conversations. I'd argue that some of the best things in your life have taken place either at work or within your family when you've had difficult, uncomfortable conversations. I'm talking about the ones that you really don't want to have. I'm talking about the ones when you get that text message from your significant other and says, hey, when you get home, we need to talk. Yeah, those. Nobody likes those. They're not fun. But it's the only way you can get somewhere. If there's one thing that Omari said today, he said this about crime. He said the people that are the most scared of crime are the voices that get heard. But the people who are impacted by crime never get heard. We need to hear more from the victims and put more onto that. But more importantly, you know what? You guys are an amazing listeners.
That was my favorite thing that he said today about those who are scared of crime are the ones heard than the ones who are involved in the crime.
Woo! All right, I got to go. Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Make sure you guys stick around. Hey, we'll do this again on Monday. Have an amazing weekend. Lori, good to see you, my friend.
You too.
Tell my guy Wesley I said what's up.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Back in the saddle, looking for a little affection. I took a shot as a contestant on the love connection. The audience voted. And they picked a winner. I took my date to the Hilton for Medina and some dinner. She had a few drinks.
Hartley Wilcox here. For over 100 years, my family has been committed to doing what's right. We believe food should be honest and wholesome. At Wilcox Farms, that starts with caring for our hens. They roam healthy pastures and enjoy a diet of organic grains and flaxseed. Why does that matter? Because what hens eat determines the quality of the eggs you eat. Our nature-first approach means vibrant golden yolks, richer flavor, and higher omega-3s for your family's health. When you choose Wilcox, you're not just buying eggs. You're supporting a farm that values animal welfare, sustainability, and community. It's real nutrition, real care, and real value. So next time you're at the egg case, look for Wilcox Family Farms eggs. Taste the difference that starts with what our hens eat. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we understand improving your home is an investment in your family, and we're here to help make it easier. With our flexible financing, keeping your family safe, comfortable, and dry has never been more affordable. For more than 20 years, Guardian has earned the trust of thousands of homeowners across the Pacific Northwest with a reputation for quality that lasts. So why wait? Start guarding your home today. Call or visit guardianroofing.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath.